If you want to know the truth, I was scared to make this review because the GK3 Ultra is no longer a simple printer to talk about. But if you're in the market for a larger format resin printer, then the GK3 Ultra should at least be on your list of things to consider. Now, as I say, the GK3 Ultra should have been a simple machine to talk about. But 6 months ago, it all got more complicated. Instead, they came out swinging with a larger format printer, and frankly, it was a bit of a car crash. Firstly, there were all sorts of shipping issues. Everything from damaged printers to faulty parts inside the printers to manufacturing issues and communication issues. You name it, they had it. And people were, let's just say, not impressed. Then Uniformation followed that up with the successor to the GK2, the GK3. But again, that was a bit of a car crash. I tested the GK3 Pro on this channel a while back, and as I said in that review, it was a printer that had lots of potential, but that was packed full of missing features, broken elements. It just wasn't ready to be released and was rushed to market. It was a difficult time. I basically made the decision to hold off on any more Uniformation reviews until frankly the company got their together. Then, 2 months ago, just as the dust was settling, Railgate happened. Now, if you don't already know, the channel J3D Tech broke this news, and he pointed out that although the GK3 Ultra was advertised as having a linear rail system, this was actually missing from the printer that was shipped, and no one had noticed. I'll link that video down below. Add that to the fact that it was Chinese New Year, so Uniformation and lots of other people just went on holiday, and there was essentially radio silence for a little bit. The internet being what it was, and the rumour mill went mad. Mass hysteria. Eventually, the CEO of the company stepped in, released a statement, and promised everything was all fine. It was actually an intended change that wasn't communicated properly, but by then the damage was done. And after that, it all went quiet. Far too quiet, in my opinion. I mean, what were the people who'd bought the machine or were having issues with the machine supposed to think at this point? So here we are. 6 months later at this point, and I'm finally getting around to reviewing the GK3 Ultra, and yeah, I know, it's probably too late for a review, but the GK3 Ultra is on sale right now, and people are going to be buying it, so I wanted those people who are trying to do some research that is up to date to have some information to go off. Now, if you're just here for the drama, and that's fair, then I'm going to pop a timestamp on screen, and you can skip past the sort of the tech specs of the printer and just get into my opinions and conclusions. But if you're actually considering buying this printer, then, well, let's go. It should go without saying that this is a big printer. It weighs 30 kilos, which means it's a two-man lift. Now, there have been lots of issues with the packing quality of the GK3 Ultra, and hilariously mine was also seized by the UK Border Force, but I'm pleased to say that the printer arrived completely intact with no issues. Inside the box you'll find a quick start guide, some instructions, and a spare screen protector. And then once you're through those, we're into protective foam. Removed, we can place it safely on our desk and get a good view at the back, where there is a power inlet, a USB port for your Wi-Fi dongle, and an Ethernet port, as well as a big old cutout for your air filter. With the printer spun round, we can get a good look at the front view, and that sexy green colourway. I've actually really missed this thing. Also on the front is a USB port, and the on-off switch. Which is the correct place for an on-off switch? Why don't more manufacturers put on-off switches on the front of machines? With the printer open, you can see yet more soft foam. Hiding in that though is the toolkit that comes with the printer, which includes basics like rubber gloves and scrapers, all the way through to Allen keys and, best of all, a silicon scraper, which you use to remove resin from the vat and is honestly one of the best 3D printing accessories that I have. The plate is a scaled up and chunkier version of the GK2 plate, which includes that slightly textured surface on the plate itself, and the dimensions of that plate are 302 by 162 millimeters. The machine turns on with a satisfying click and up powers that 5-inch capacitive touchscreen, which you will immediately have to use to home the plate, which will allow you to remove the vat. With the Z-arm in place, you can slide that plate into place and then lock it into position using a solid metal latch. The vat will hold an impressive 1.2 kilos of resin, and comes fitted with an NFEP film as standard. Like most modern printers these days, the GK3 Ultra comes pre-leveled in the factory, but to test this, I did my own levelling checks and confirmed that it is indeed a level build plate. The last piece of information you need to know about this printer is the screen. Now, the screen has an XY resolution of 15,120 by 6,230 pixels, which is just under 16K. Uniformation also say this printer has an AVC of 26 microns, which is about half that of the Form 4, for example. And while it's actually more complicated than this, essentially what that means is this printer can print very small details accurately. I've been using this printer now for about 3 months. I've got it set up in my garage, it's got a little home all of its own, and the short version of this is it's got one job to do and it does that very well. I like it. Now if you watch this channel enough, you know that for small detailed minis, display quality minis, I'm using my Hay-Gaze Reflex every time. But as I said in my Hay-Gaze reflection recently, the build plate on that printer is actually quite small. And so whenever I need to print lots and lots and lots of one model, I use the GK3 Ultra. Whenever I need to print something really big, I'm using the GK3 Ultra. And it's great, it works. During the last few months, my printing highlights have been this absolutely massive Dragon. It's actually got a 2-foot wingspan. And I packaged it up and sent it off to America last week, and the client who received it was really happy with it. I'm also in the middle of printing my boyhood dream model, which is an Elder Revenant Titan, and that thing is also pretty sick. So for now, I'm going to be keeping this printer in my sort of like toolkit. The synopsis is that this printer is essentially a massive GK2, which is what it was supposed to be, but is being a bigger GK2 enough in today's printing market? So much like the GK2, one of the main benefits of the GK3 Ultra is it's really easy to clean. It's got that smooth build plate, it's got the drip catcher around the edge of the plate, which means that resin doesn't drip all over your office, and it's got a few neat little functions like a mount that holds the plate in place so the resin can drip off. In short, from a workflow point of view, it's really nice to use. It's also got a really lovely solid metal latch on top of the printer, which feels nice to take off and always feels nice and secure and holds the plate in place solidly. The vat heater that sits underneath the screen is also in the same vein as the GK2 really effective, and it preheats your resin before you want to print on it. That big green lid that sits over the printer has a sort of fluffy edge to the printer which seals the lid nice tightly shut so no smells escape, at least while the lid's shut. The UI on the screen is much the same as the previous models in that it's very simple to use and easy to understand. And most importantly, the models it prints are excellent. To put that another way, all the things that really matter about 3D printing models, like the cleanup and the ergonomics of the printer, and most importantly the detail of the miniatures themselves, are really great, and I have no issue recommending this printer. But when I make 3D printing reviews, I like to make them imagining I've got a friend of mine in the room asking for my advice. And so I imagine that that friend is out looking to buy a large format resin printer, and if you're in that position, there are links down in the description, you can click on those and buy the printer. But before you do that, there are some things you need to know. The GK3 Ultra, despite basically only just coming into regular circulation, is already quite dated. It lacks any of the advanced features like debris detection, dynamic lift heights, cameras that many of its other rivals now include as standard, and that includes the GK3 Pro that Uniformation have recently released, and frankly that's a massive oversight, particularly given that the M7 Max, which I would argue is its closest competitor, is not only cheaper but does include lots of those features. Another major thing that's missing is a fully functional RERF function, RERF function. This is the function that allows you to calibrate multiple settings and dial in resins quickly. Now no, that's not a game changer, but again, Anycubic do this well, but other competitors like Elegoo do this incredibly well. So again, the lack of an RERF function that's fully embedded into the UI is frankly a big downside. I also find the autofill a bit slow, and even a little intermittent, to the point where I don't really trust it, so I end up filling the vat manually, and that has bitten me a couple of times now. A 3D printer gives you the power to create anything you can imagine. The only limit is your imagination. Most recently though, a patron of mine needed some hobby storage for his painting setup. He reached out to me and asked me if I could print it. And I said, sure, I'll take a look. But when I dived into the files, I realised it would take me over $100 of filament, plus a couple of weeks to be able to print it, which was just way too big a commitment for me. So when PCBWay emailed me and said they were interested in working together, I asked them if they'd be willing to print the paint station for my friend. They said they would, as well as covering some of the costs of making the video. And frankly, if you can't use your YouTube channel to help your community, I don't know what you can use it for. Thank you PCBWay for going the extra mile on this one. If you've never used a service like this, they're really simple. All you need to do is take your files, head to the website, and once you're there, upload and select where you want to print. Select the material. There's loads of different options, I'll show them on screen, and it will give you an estimated price. Once you've uploaded the files, an engineer will then take a look at them, approve them, and then it's over to final payment and then shipping. About a week later, you receive your parts. It's that easy. Even if you've got a 3D printer, I would probably have a look at websites like this because they are genuinely an alternative that saves quite a lot of time. But hey, now you know. But in this imaginary conversation between friends,
friend, football friend, best friends forever and ever.
The big reason I would hesitate to recommend the GK3 Ultra over other competitors is the trust issue that the initial release and then Railgate caused. So let me just expand on that for a second. Now, Uniformation have said in multiple public statements and in forums that the issues faced at launch and then flagged later by consumers have all been fixed. And in fairness to them, I've done some research on this, I've looked around some forums, I've asked people, and most of the issues people have with the printer are historic ones. The printers that are being sold right now appear to be going to consumers quickly and on time and without any issues. And I know that's the sort of the standard way things should be, but it's worth saying it here because that wasn't always the case. I know in the UK and the US, if you buy the printer, there is stock to support them and you will get the printer in a reasonable amount of time. And I can judge that from the progression of these things, this is an improving situation. There is no getting away from the fact though that this does still feel like a risk purchasing this machine when frankly it shouldn't even be a consideration. And all I really ask is that you do bear this in mind if you purchase this printer. Now, I don't work for Uniformation, so there's nothing I can actually do about it, but if you have had issues or if you have had experience with Uniformation that you feel would help other people, then please do comment down below. I think people generally do read the comments and it might help somebody. So do share your thoughts on this. But it's just a comment section on a video, guys, so please keep it civil. Now, as to the rails and the quality of the prints long term, well, Uniformation have said that the change from linear rails to the sort of steel column that they have now is a positive change to improve rigidity, and actually is not a cost-cutting measure, it actually increases the cost of the machine. But what really matters is the quality of the prints that come off it, and so far, the quality of the prints that are coming off my machine have been great. I can't really comment on the long-term longevity of these parts because I've only been testing it for 3 months, so ask me in a year. But for now, so far, so good. So should you buy this printer? Well, I guess it depends what you're looking for. If you are familiar with the GK2 and the workflow that wraps around that printer and you like it, then I would say this is worth a consideration. No, the GK3 is not the most advanced large format resin printer, nor is it the cheapest. That accolade goes to the M7 Max. Nor is the GK3 Ultra the largest large format resin printer. That title goes to the Phrozen Mega 8KS. What the GK3 Ultra is a really simple machine that prints large things very well. Should you buy it? Well, I don't think you should buy it before checking out Fohammer's review of the M7 Max first, because you really need to compare those two machines before you can make a decision. I'll link that on screen now, while I say a massive thank you to this video's sponsors PCBWay, all my patrons, and anyone who supports me using the affiliate links down below this video. You are all legends and you help to keep the lights on. And I guess all that's left for me to say now is that I've been James, this is RisingApe Minis, and I'll see you next time.